Good morning, folks. It's November 7th, just about 6:30, sorry. Already seen at least 3, look like 2 bucks chasing a doe out in the field across the creek, like 250 yards away, which is a great sign. I'm hoping that chase makes its way over here. I couldn't quite tell what deer it is, but they're still running. Saw another one run by. The bright side is there's no bedding cover over there. All the bedding is on my side. So I'm hoping eventually they get into this piece. We'll see. Definitely looking like a good morning. It's cooled off quite a bit since yesterday. It was 83 yesterday and it was 60 now, so yeah, I'm just going to take what I can get with this weather. It's still November, so hoping that big 7 is still in the area. Still haven't caught up or gotten any pictures of that mega buck out here. But I know I'm still in the game, so hoping I can be in the ball game. They're still out in that opening, but it's too dark to zoom in that far. Just gonna keep my fingers crossed. Where do I even begin? Oh my goodness, what a morning. It's 7:58. Probably shot that buck like 5 minutes ago, and oh my goodness, what a morning. Started off with me spotting these chasing going on in the field like 200, 300 yards away. Across, that's a state line. It's in Maryland. And I was hoping they'd cross, and eventually they did. Way out in front of me, but on this property. And I saw the chasing and everything, and then it must have been 2 does and 1 buck, because there was a doe that came through, worked right up to this scrape at 4 or 5 yards, and she eventually got uncomfortable, turned around, got downwind. She actually was blowing at me and took off running towards my truck. Maybe 10-15 minutes later, I don't know how, I think the buck chasing the actual doe in heat must have looped in front of me and around, and they ended up coming behind me, and I didn't see them until they were right at 30 yards. They worked down the creek bottom and then away. That was the last I saw them. And then right around 7:30, I saw a big buck out in the grass where the deer were chasing this morning, and he was working from left to right, and I hit the grunt tube as loud as I could, and I saw his head go up, and he looked over here, but then he just kept walking. I lost him behind these trees, and the water in this creek is so still, I can tell when animals are crossing it, and I saw ripples in the water like 5-10 minutes later, and I was hoping he was coming right up to me. And then I saw a jogger on the other side in the trail, and I thought he either took off running into the field or he's already on my side. Waited a few more minutes and I spot him walking through. 90% sure he's the same buck. Came right through the back, and I drew this up so perfectly. These are mock scrapes around me, and these deer hit them every time they come up through this part. And I saw him walking the trail, and I put the camera where it needed to be, and I drew really early, and he hit the scrape on the right side, and there's this tree here, and I was trying to lean out as far as I could to get a shot, and he took that one more step forward into the scrape and gave me a perfect shot. I mean, I don't even know if it's close enough for my rangefinder to get, but this is like, it was 9 yards. Exactly how I drew it up. Every time I get in the stand, I practice draw at that scrape, and that's the big 7. That's the big 7 that was in here a few nights ago, and he just came through cruising. So much action this morning. What an awesome morning. Despite it being like 65 degrees right now, it has been one of the better hunts that I've ever had with all this action going on around me. He took off running directly away from me. He eventually stopped like 50 yards away, and then I saw him fall over. He's crashed right out there. I can't see him right now, but yeah, he's definitely down. What an incredible hunt. What an incredible, incredible hunt. I gotta make some phone calls because I'm just jazzed up. And I had some woes at the beginning of the season. Missed that doe in public. Missed a buck on another private. Well, didn't miss him. I just hit him too high and never recovered him. So it's been a rough season so far, but today made up for everything. And you can't really make a big mistake when the deer's standing at 9 yards. So I'm absolutely ecstatic right now. Put a lot of time in the tree stand this season so far, and going after one of these bucks out here has been a grind. I had 5 sits where I didn't see a single deer, and then all of a sudden like that, it just blew up. So he ran towards the truck, towards where I walk out. I'm gonna start packing up. Check first blood, and you guys will join me from there. Down to the shot site, you can see up behind me, there's my tree stand. So I think that's one of the closest shots I've ever had on a whitetail, and to pull it off on a mock scrape that I set up, that this is exactly how I wrote this place up. It's just awesome. And it smells like a rutted up buck right here for sure. Not seeing any blood at this scrape, but actually there's a drop right here. So there's some blood right at the shot site. He's standing right here, tree stand, and took off running down the trail that way. So pick up the trail and go put our hands on this big buck. Here's the arrow. He carried it with him probably 20 yards, but still fully intact. Blade's still pretty sharp. Looks like the knock broke. And I lost a vein. There's a vein I've already replaced, so. Good looking blood on there. 2 holes and the bloods look great. He went down just on the other side of this stuff, like 30 yards away, so let's go get him. I am so excited right now. This is a huge deer, and a deer that I set my sights on 2 days ago after getting in here. He was in there the evening before yesterday, around 5:30, around 4:30, and then 5:30. He showed up on both my cameras, and he's a deer that I know of. He was summering in here. I had a couple velvet pictures and videos of him on the cameras, and clearly a mature deer, probably 3.5, but that's a deer I'm definitely going to take out on this property. There were 2 shooters that I set my sights on by the middle of October. One was the obvious giant that's been in here, but given I've only had him on camera twice at like very, very, very early morning hours, nothing since, just kind of put that on the back of my head. And getting out here yesterday, there's a hot doe in the area, and I've seen 5 bucks in the past 3 sits out here, so it's definitely chasing time despite the weather. It's hot, 100% humidity right now, and I'm sweating my butt off, but this is just an awesome deer. It's cool to get a picture of a deer, determine that it's a mature deer, go after it, and seal the deal on an incredible hunt, really. The shot was, I don't know if it could have been any more perfect. He was so close to me, I had to aim higher on his near side, but the exit is right about where you want it to be, just behind the arm, other side. I'm pretty sure I probably got heart, but he didn't go 50 yards, piled up in these thorns, and that's all she wrote. I think I first saw this deer, I'm pretty sure he was across the creek in the field, about 300 yards away at like 7:30 maybe, and hit the grunt tube a few times and called him across the creek. The interesting thing about that is this is a state line, so I actually grunted this deer across a state line from Maryland into Virginia, which is pretty cool to tell people. It's not really crazy when it's only a couple hundred yards or so, but it is a really neat little fact about this hunt. And I didn't think that he had crossed, but he eventually showed up right behind me working down the trail, came right up to the scrape exactly how I wanted him to, and drew early, took my time with the shot, and executed pretty perfectly. It feels really good to put a good shot on this deer, given I missed one early season and hit one high on Halloween morning. So this is a real cherry on the top of the season so far. That doesn't mean I'm finished. Because of CWD laws, I can't transport this deer to my house, so I'm taking him to the butcher. It's hot anyways, so I wouldn't be processing it myself anyways, but it's just an incredible hunt. There's not much more else to say other than I'm hot, I'm sweaty, and I'm really, really excited.
this is awesome. So thank this guy for giving me a good hunt, for giving me some venison to fill the freezer with, and on to the next one. Really, I've got public land that I'm still pursuing. I've been out a few times and there's bucks showing up there recently, and we got some better weather in the future. So it's pretty interesting that today is the first day of my annual rutcation. I always take a week off in November to pursue these whitetails, and this is the third year in a row now that I've killed a buck on the first day of my rutcation. So it feels good to get that monkey off my back for the season, and now I can focus and get real creative with the other properties that I have access to, and see if I can get me another one for 2024. As for today, kind of wraps me up. Not much more else to say other than I appreciate all y'all watching. Appreciate all the support. We're closing in on 1,000 subscribers, so it's pretty awesome. And I'm hoping if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, you hit the subscribe button, because there's a lot more of this stuff coming on my channel. So everyone, I appreciate all the support, and I'll see you from the woods next time.